Our hen house is a multimedia hive of opportunities for people who are interested in changing the world for animals in a way that excites them, and maybe something in life that they're good at that they could just plug into changing the world. So we have a weekly podcast, which we have a lot of fun with, I think, and we have had over 110 episodes so far. We have a daily blog. Every single day we publish a different idea or opportunity for how to get involved with changing the world and shedding light on people who are already doing just that. And we also produce videos.
Do it. Just don't hesitate. The issue of what is going on with animals is enormous. It's hideous. It's the greatest sin on the face of the earth. Once you have awakened to that, you have an obligation not only to stop participating in it, but you owe it to yourself and to both Freddie and Douglas to get on board. And you can find something that totally fulfills you and that you enjoy and that will help you to change the world and make you feel better about yourself. So just do it and come to our hen house and look into all of the different categories that we have. We have categories for students, for teachers, for grassroots activists, for artists especially.
Big bent on the arts. We think the arts is such a great way to, it's such a great place to tap into to create change. And a lot of people think, oh, I am going to be an activist, that means I have to do X, Y, Z. And sure, you can totally do X, Y, Z, but there's also A, B, C, D, F, G.
And of course there's food. What other way to change the world also allows you to change your diet in wonderful ways and introduce people to fabulous food and allows you to make that a central part of your life and a central part of changing the world.
And using that as a jumping off point for talking about the other issues of veganism. I think that it's great that you're bringing that up, because I think that more and more communities should be bringing up the question, how do we as activists avoid burnout? And there are so many different answers to that. A few of the things that I think are important to focus on are to take care of yourself and really see yourself as an animal too in your quest for respecting animal rights. Respect yourself too. And also take care of each other. We need to find safe spaces, we need to foster safe spaces, and we need to eat right and sleep well and things like that. But if you feel like you need to take a step back, maybe switching up the type of activism you're doing, there's a multiplicity of ways to get involved with changing the world for animals. And if you feel like you might be at the edge, switch from farm animal work to anti-circus work, or switch up your tactic. Instead of legal means, the arts.
And another really important thing is to just give yourself a break. We're dealing with incredibly traumatizing information. All of us who have faced the truth about what's happening to animals are dealing with something truly horrifying. And we are moving forward. And so be kind to yourself, because you are doing something that other people really haven't faced. But how empowering is it to be able to do something and find something positive to do that you actually enjoy? And I think that you won't even think about burning out, because if you're doing with something you enjoy. Eventually, since I became involved, there were only a few bar associations that had animal law committees. Now most bar associations do. Their animal law is taught in well over 100 law schools now. There's a whole animal law program at Lewis and Clark University School of Law. There's an LLM program that's a master's, an advanced degree in law there, in animal law. And yeah, I think it's developing much more respect. Whether it's having progress, it's a long, hard haul. The law will never change until people's hearts and minds are changed. So it isn't just the work of the lawyers to change the law. It's the work of everybody who's working on behalf of animals to change the atmosphere in which legislators feel more comfortable passing laws that relate to animals. Judges feel more comfortable deciding cases in a way that is sympathetic to animals. We have to create that atmosphere that this issue matters. We are seeing some changes. I think some of the most powerful places where this issue is being fought is not so much in the laws protecting animals themselves. Some of those there have been important developments there, but in the laws about transparency, we're seeing more and more people who care about animals bringing lawsuits under consumer protection laws, trying to get that information out there, and we're seeing the industry fight back with the Animal Enterprise Terrorism Act and ag laws, and then the fight becomes to try to stop that squelching of information. So a lot of what's going on, there's a real synergy between what lawyers are doing and what activists are doing, so that lawyers are trying to do work to help people be able to get that information out. And the information that is coming out through the work of activists is helping lawyers convince lawmakers to take this issue more seriously. Well, we're farm animal gals, I have to say. That's always been the issue that's driven me ever since I found out long ago how many of them there were and how completely ignored they were. That's been the main issue that drives me, though I think of it as a single issue. I mean, as enormous as it is still just part of the whole package of our attitudes towards our fellow inhabitants of Earth, and they just happen to be the ones who are most abused and most aggrieved, but and where we can do the most good. I mean, things are going to change when it comes to farm animals. The industry is so vulnerable to being criticized on so many different grounds, and that information is starting to bubble to the surface. I think the ability to make changes there are enormous, and we're going to be seeing that in the next 10, 20 years.
We have a gorgeous pit bull, Rose, at home. And so because of Rose, I think pit bull issues are very, very near and dear to our hearts. But that being said, I'm not sure if I like to say, oh, we are into this particular type of animal issue specifically. I used to work for a farm animal protection organization. Farm animal issues are how I got involved with animal activism, and there's such a huge number of farm animals exploited and killed every year. But I am becoming more and more awakened to different areas all the time.
Part of the reason that we started our hen house was because we saw that there really is so far to go here, and we have like amazing organizations doing amazing work in this community, and they're tireless, and they're working on shoestring budgets often, and they're doing amazing work. But the change that we have to make in society is monumental. We have to change the way people live and what they eat and what they use and their attitudes toward the entire world. This is not something that can be done by organizations. People cannot write a check and say, now I've done my share. I'm helping Mercy for Animals or some other wonderful organization do their job. Yes, you do need to do that. You need to support their work, but you need to be doing it yourself. Everybody needs to be part of this.
We like to think that our hen house is indefatigably positive, partly because we like to say indefatigably, but partly because there's so much to be angry and upset about, and we're angry and upset, but if you channel that into something positive, then we can really create change in a way that is meaningful and everlasting. The exciting thing is, we don't need to reach the entire majority. We really just need to get to a tipping point, and I feel like we're getting to that. One of my favorite quotes that speaks to that was Samuel Adams, or it was attributed to Samuel Adams, who knows, right? And it does not take a majority to prevail, rather an irate, tireless minority, keen on setting a brush fire in people's minds. Let's set brush fires.
Okay, last question.
In people's minds.
In people's minds.
Last question.
I've been an actor and a writer in my past, and I said, well, I'm interested in changing the world for animals. I'm going to tap into what I already know, which is acting and writing. And so there's a lot of theatrics in our talks, and I'm obviously writing every single day for our hen house and some other publications as well. And Mariann comes at this from a lawyer background. She was a lawyer well before she was aware of animal issues. So this actually has led us to the sections that we have in our hen house. We have a legal eagles section, we have a media maven section, we have an art of the animal section, which is particularly near and dear to my heart. And I think, and there's other sections too. Class Act for academics, grazing in the grassroots. I think that every single person they don't have to change who they are or how they relate to the world. Tote bag, it says, a place to find our way to change the world for animals, which is our tagline, coincidentally enough, and it's all ethically sourced and vegan made out of soda and water bottles. It's more ethical than most people. Just this bag right here. You could get it at our website, ourhenhouse.org.